Hello everybody and welcome to day 7 of our 90-day transformation program from Mediocrity to Mastery. And if this is your first one you're watching, this is the first training, first time you're watching, then make sure after you finish watching this that you go back and watch the first one, day 1, and then watch them sequentially. So you just go to my channel, Be Your Potential, and I'm going to put them on the playlist. I haven't done that yet. And just go to day 1 and watch them. Otherwise, it's just, you need to watch this in order. You need to do the exercises in order. This is a process, and everything is set out the way it's set out in a very specific way. So you get the transformation and you get the results that you're looking to get in your life. Very important to do that. So, like I said, we're reading this book, The Values Fact by John Demartini, Dr. John Demartini, and we're following the exercises. And have you done your exercise? Here's my question to you right now. Have you done your exercise from yesterday? Did you follow that exercise? Identify your social idealisms, that exercise there. If you haven't done that exercise, then what are you doing here, really? Are you going to take this seriously or not? I did the exercise. And one of the reasons that I believe it's very powerful to do this, and what inspired me to do this, was I'd already gone through the book, I'd already done the exercise, I already went through this program myself, but I wasn't being fully true to it. I wasn't being fully, and that's my honest stance with it. I wasn't being fully true to it. I dabbled with it. I didn't do the exercises to the extent, so they get quite intensive as we go along here, and we'll find out in the next few days where they get really intensive. So I thought, okay, I know this is amazing stuff. I'm going to master this, and the words are very important. If you remember the last exercise about our shoulds and ought tos, and I find that a tough one because I really don't say the word like, I need to do this, or I should do that, or I ought to do this, or I want to do that, but I don't say much of that. I'm quite conscious of my words, my communication. I'm always listening to what I'm saying and catching myself when my communication isn't as clean or as empowering or as influential to myself, because as well as being able to influence others, we want to be able to influence ourselves, if that makes sense. And with the words we use with our internal self-talk, the same as a person who's really good at sales and selling to other people, you want to learn sales, you want to be good at selling so you can sell to yourself. So you can sell yourself on ideas, so you can sell yourself on your vision, so you can sell yourself on your goals. That makes sense? So you want to be using powerful, influential words that make you make decisions, words that make you take actions, words that instill belief in you. If you're always going around saying, I should do this, I ought to do this, I have to do this, then that's not inspiring. But when you say, I choose to do this, I desire to do this, I'm going to do this, I'd love to do this, it's a whole different set of energies, right? So our communication is very important. Communication we have with others and the communication we have with ourselves, right? So yeah, if you haven't done the exercise, then have a word with yourself and then do it, because there's more exercises to come. And if you can't complete that very first, very simple one, then maybe you just want to stay in mediocrity. Maybe you want to stay there. Maybe you want to live that quiet life of desperation. As I think it was Henry David Thoreau might have said that, most people are living quiet lives of desperation, right? We don't want to do that. We want to master our lives. We want to live an inspiring life, and we're going to have pain anyway. That's the truth of life. We're going to have pain whether we are living the quiet life of desperation, where we're never stepping outside our comfort zone. We're staying within those programs, in those parameters. And we're never putting ourselves on the line. We're never making ourselves vulnerable. If we're not doing that, we're still going to experience pain. It's more like a dull pain, like something digging in our side. you know, I think I might have told the story before, where the salesman goes and knocks on a guy's door, and the guy comes out, and what the salesman notices is there's a dog lying on the porch, and the dog is whimpering, you know, just like that, you know. You want me to do that again? Just whimpering like that. And the guy's wondering why he's whimpering, you know. So the guy comes out and he says, "Sir, actually, I just want to find out, you know, your dog, he doesn't seem to be well. He seems to be whimpering." The guy goes, "No, he's okay. He's just lying on a nail." The guy says, "Well, why doesn't he get off the nail then if he's lying on a nail?" And he says, "Well, I guess it just don't hurt enough yet, you know." And you know, so that's the story of most people's lives, actually. You know, most people are complaining their way through life, complaining about stuff, whimpering, whining. But why don't they change it? Doesn't hurt enough. Quite often, it's when we get a big load of pain, you know, that's when we go, "Whoa, I'm making a change. That's too painful." But the world and society is set up for people to be mediocre. It's set up, you know, to that people don't have to win. You know, it's set up for people not to lose. It's not set up for people to win. It's set up for people not to lose, right? So people can kind of go through their life kind of nice and quietly, tiptoeing to safely arrive at death, right? You know, as the saying has been thrown about, right? And so we've got to make a choice, right? We've got to make a choice, you know, and look at that. Sometimes it just takes looking into our future and saying, you know, if I had to make a change now, how is that going to look a year from now? If I had to make a change, is my life going to be better or worse? Well, it's going to be worse, right? It's going to be worse. It's not going to be the same. You know, we're either growing or we're either dying. You know, it's one or the other. And so if we stay the same, we actually start to die, not grow. And look at your life 5 years from now. If you don't make that change, you know the change you know you need to make, you know the change you know you'd love to make, change you'd love to make, but you just haven't made that connection yet. And that's what you're going to do in this program. You're going to make those connections. You're going to create a whole new city in your brain, a whole new city of neural pathways, a neural city that aligns your values, aligns your goals, aligns your love tos, allows you to self-actualize your life, which is what you're going to do in this next 90 days. 84 days and counting. 3 maybe. Because you're in the process of self-actualizing your life, right? Going from I have to I love to, I choose to. Yeah? Making that switch, right? Making new connections in the brain of our values and our goals and linking different things. It's an incredible process, and it comes from doing the exercises that we're doing in this book. And as well, you're soaking it in through just what we're talking about and what we're hearing from when I do the reading in the book, but as well as that, it's also doing the exercises. And that's where the biggest shifts will happen, through doing the exercises. That's where it's really all going to happen. That's where we get the real breakthroughs, because you're going to come across thresholds. You're going to come to thresholds, and then you're going to break through those thresholds, right? And as we move through life, we always come up against thresholds, and they're our comfort zone, our comfort zone for different things in life, you know. And if we don't break through those comfort zones, then our life starts to shrink. Our comfort zone starts to shrink. You know, sometimes you see elderly people. Some people that aren't that elderly, you know, but elderly in what society calls elderly people, and some of them are afraid to leave the house, afraid to you know, do anything just slightly different out of the routine, because what they've done is they haven't had the mindset to be constantly growing, constantly moving out of the comfort zone. So what actually happens when you don't do that is you start shrinking. The same as a muscle. If you're not working that muscle every week, doing something, that muscle starts to atrophy. It starts to shrink. If you've had your arm in a plaster cast from being broken, when that cast comes off eventually, you haven't used that arm at all. It looks like a little twig, you know? It atrophies. Whatever you don't use, you lose. And the same with our emotional, mental capacities, our thresholds to take on challenges, to take on stresses, to take on uncertainties. If we're not constantly expanding that and challenging it, it starts to shrink. And that's why you see some people who just seem to be afraid of everything. They won't do anything. They won't go outside the routine. They won't even look at a new belief. Inside their belief system, like, get away from me, you know? Because that's too scary. A different belief system than what they believe, that's too scary for them, you know? So you're not that, right? Because you're here and you're making that a transformation. And it's open and available to everyone. You know, this is an equal opportunities, you know? Your life is equal opportunities. The desire to grow and expand, to create a vision and act on that, that is equal opportunities. You know, there's no one better than anyone else. Mediocrity is just a state of mind that we can change like that. And mastery is also a state of mind which we can change like that. Right? Very simple example, these hangouts that I'm doing right now. But about a year ago, I contemplated doing hangouts, and I procrastinated on it. I procrastinated on it because there was apprehension there. It was outside my comfort zone. It wasn't like just making a video and then, you know, being able to, if the video didn't go well, to make it again, and then the video gets uploaded and whatever else. You know, that's quite easy. But then to do the live hangouts, it's like, well, if something goes wrong, that's live. There can be a ton of people watching, and suddenly the technology fails. You know, and that was one of my fears, was not being so au fait with the technology that if something goes wrong, I don't know what to do and things like that. If it works, if it just goes off halfway through or something, you know, what do I do? You know, so I had those sorts of fears as well. You know, I had more fear of doing a Google Hangout than I did of standing up in front of people and talking. But now I'm doing it. I pushed past that because I saw the importance of it, and I saw that, you know, on the internet, this is the future. Doing these live streams, this is future, right? You know, I wanted to be able to speak to people all over the world live, have a live interaction, have people be able to ask questions and things like that. And to do that, you know, this is a medium for doing that. This is a medium, and I feel very blessed to be able to do that. It's absolutely awesome that you can be in any country in the world, pretty much, and be able to access this live. I think that's just amazing. So, you know, what we're going to go into now is, so, you know, before we go into the book, I just say, you know, what is it for you? Think about what it is for you. That one thing that's just outside your comfort zone that you've been procrastinating on, you've been putting off, that is actually going to move things to the next level for you. Because the funny thing is, once you actually do it, that thing you're afraid of, once you actually do it, you're just like, well, this wasn't so bad. Like me doing these hangouts, I'm like, okay, well, this actually, I could have done this a year ago. It's not so hard, right? And that's what happens. As soon as you do it, you break through. That's why action is just like, oh, if you just take action and keep taking action, your growth can happen incredibly. And that's when you see people who seem to be so far ahead of you in life, in whatever they're doing, and you want to emulate in some way, and you think, well, how am I ever going to get to that far? It happens incrementally, you know, and you step through and you break through and you go up to another level, then you step through again, you break through and you go up to another level, and you become a different person. You become a different person, and it's, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? That juices me, you know, for want of a better word, that juices me. Yeah, that inspires me. It inspires me, right? So let's look at the John Demartini's. We're on page 38 now. If you have your book, open at page 38. And let's read from now. We're going into some pretty heavy exercises these next number of pages. And this will go into some deep introspection, self-reflection. Your highest values or someone else's. Now let's get one thing clear. I'm not for a moment suggesting that there must be an opposition between the values you were raised with and the values you generally hold. Nor am I suggesting that your values must be selfish, as opposed to the unselfish values embodied in social idealisms. History is full of individuals whose apparent highest values centered on fighting for human rights, protecting the environment, improving the lives of animals, discovering new cures for deadly diseases, spreading knowledge, or making beautiful art. Likewise, many great entrepreneurs and business leaders had a vision for how to make the world a greater place through providing products and services that millions of people needed. In all of these cases, each individual made an enormous contribution to humanity. But that contribution was possible only because they lived by their own highest values. So you don't need to blindly reject all of the values or social idealism you were raised with, but neither can you simply assume that these values are necessarily your own. Whether your values involve building wealth or curing cancer, writing poetry or running a restaurant, raising a family or digging a garden, the key is that you identify your true highest values for yourself and then consciously craft a life that is based on fully expressing them. That is the way to mobilize your resources in service of your mission. That is the way to create the inspired and fulfilling life that can make your work feel like a treat and turn every day into a vacation. And that is the way to create deep, fulfilling, authentic relationships with your loving, intimate partner, your family, your colleagues, and your community. How do you know when you're living by your own highest and your own values or someone else's? There are two simple ways to tell. One, whenever you try to live according to someone else's values, you find yourself saying should, ought to, and have to, right? Two, when you fail to do what you thought you should, you experience the ABCDs of negativity: anger, blame, criticism, and despair, directed towards yourself. Whenever I hear someone say, I tried to do it, but I just didn't seem to get around to it, I understand that what they have tried to do isn't really all that important to them. What was truly more important to them was what they kept doing instead. That is why they kept doing it. So if you say you want to do something but you're not doing it, your actions reveal that this action is not really important to you. In other words, saying I have to or I should is a kind of fantasy in which you try to convince yourself that something outside of your true highest values really is important to you. Then when you fail to do what you should, you beat yourself up. The ABCDs of negativity are likely to follow. However, that beating yourself up is actually a gift. Why? Because it's your way of getting yourself to set authentic goals according to your true highest values. It may feel as though you are sabotaging yourself, that you can't stay focused, or that you can't stay disciplined. You might even say to yourself, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do what I say I should do? But whenever you try to force your mind and body to do something that does not fit who you truly are, your whole self rebels. Your apparent failure is really your authentic self asking to be heard. The ABCDs of negativity are the pains that reveal how out of touch you are with your true highest values. How can you return to your true highest values? One useful step is to ask yourself what you truly love doing. Move on to exercise 2 to learn more. Okay, so this is exercise 2 now. And you need the book to do the exercises, like I said. Amazon.com or drdemartini.com, you can get this book, The Values Factor. Exercise 2, discover what you love. To identify your true highest values, begin by asking yourself what you love to do. What activities inspire you? Which situations do you find meaningful? What relationships do you feel deeply connected to? Discovering what you love and what inspires you will help connect you to your highest values. Instructions. Complete the statement, I love to, as often as you can. each time identifying a different activity that you truly love. For example, I love to spend time with my children. I love to go out to dinner at a quiet restaurant with someone I enjoy talking to. I love to grow my business. I love to negotiate complicated deals. I love to hang out with friends. So that's the exercise. I love to, and then write whatever as many times as you feel inspired to or you come up with. So that's an exercise that you can start now. You can continue that after we finish. That's one of the exercises to be completed by tomorrow, right? Easy enough exercise to be completed by tomorrow. Now look over what you wrote. In the box on the right, put a check next to the activities that you find most inspiring. Okay, that's what you'll do there once you start that. Signs of living by your own highest values. 1. You hear yourself using affirmative language. I love doing this. I'm inspired by doing that. I dream of doing this. I feel it is my destiny to do that. I choose and live to do this. 2. You experience an alignment between your highest values and your actions. I have done exactly as I dreamed and planned. I am inspired by the way I am acting. I am enthused about what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I am grateful to be able to do what I love. Your highest values reveal your identity. One of the great things about getting in touch with your highest values is that you thereby discover who you are. Whatever you value most in life ultimately determines your identity. Think about what happens when someone asks, who are you? If you have young children and your highest value is your children, you will answer, I'm a mother, I'm a father. If owning a business represents your highest value, you will answer, I'm an entrepreneur. If your highest value involves writing, painting, or engaging in some other artistic activity, you might well answer, I'm an artist. Even if you earn your living as a waitress or an auto mechanic, if your child and your highest value is school, you might say, I'm a 5th grader. But if your highest value is sports or games, you might reply, I'm a baseball player. Or I'm a 7th level Dragon Master. If your highest value is your religion, you might identify yourself by saying, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Jew. If your highest value is your sexuality or your looks, you might answer, I'm a beautiful woman, or I'm a real ladies' man, or even, I'm a great lover, right? If your highest value is embodied in your hobby or vocation, you might say, I'm a vintage record collector, I'm a golfer, or I'm a seasoned traveler. Whatever you most value determines who you are. Discovering your identity is a powerful route to identifying your values. Explore exercise 3 to dig deeper. Exercise 3. Discover your identity. Instructions. Answer the following questions. So the list of questions, if you haven't got the book yet, I'm going to give you the list of questions anyway, so you can do this while you're ordering the book. Here's this list of questions. First question, how do you identify yourself? Second question, what value does this reveal? 3, how does your partner identify himself or herself? 4, what values does this reveal? 5, think of one of your friends. How does that person identify himself or herself? 6, what values does this reveal? 7, think of a colleague. How does that person identify himself or herself? And 8, what values does this reveal? Okay, we'll finish the book reading at that for this evening. I think that's enough for now. There's 2 exercises to do, identifying yourself and also finding out what all your I love to's are, and find out which ones are most inspiring to you. And you'll start to, by doing this, you'll start to find out a lot about yourself, because how many people really do this? You know, make the effort to ask the really important questions in life. You know, who am I? What's my identity? Who am I really, right? What do I love to do? What do I love doing most? You know, what I see is most people are just in a program, just following their programs, one thing to the next, the things that have been, like I said, the social idealisms, the values that are being projected onto them, the programs that are being projected onto them, and they're just living out those, not asking the important questions. And as the saying goes, the quality of our questions determines the quality of our life. So what you're going to find in this training program is very high quality questions. I'm going to be asking you high quality questions for you to ask yourself high quality questions, and as well there's a ton of super high quality questions in this book that you're going to be answering over and over again and making breakthroughs from asking the questions. Very, very powerful. Thinking is where it really all starts, right? It starts with thought, and thinking is really the real thinking, not just they say there's three types of thinking, right? There's remembering, just remembering stuff. There's imagining, just imagining stuff, and then there's planning, where we actually actively, okay, I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and those are sort of three things the mind does. So we want to actually have some real thinking in there, because those are the three things the mind kind of does automatically, right? So what we want to add in there is the real thinking of asking quality questions. So when we ask the really quality questions, then we get really quality answers, and that's when we come to very sort of high level of thinking, and that's when we can activate our genius, which is what we're doing in this program. So please don't underestimate any of this. There comes a time when you got to put your faith in something. You got to put your trust in something and say, look, I'm going to do this no matter what, because there's things that I've read. I've read a number of John Demartini's books, and there's things that I'm just like, what about this situation? How does it work in that situation? There's stuff that I just haven't been sure about at all. And then I've also gone into other belief systems and other models of the world, different teachings. I'm like, well, there's a confliction there. Who's right? But I keep an open mind. And I keep learning, and I keep being open, understanding that these people know more than I do about this stuff. And it's important to be humble in our lives, be humble and open to learning, and let go of our opinions a lot of the time. Because when we are able to let go of our own opinions, then we're open to receive the higher knowledge, right? To receive a more powerful and empowering belief system. So sure, you could go through this 90-day program, and if you held on to all your own opinions, all your own beliefs, all your own worldview, your own identity that you've already molded for yourself, then would you really get a lot out of this? Probably not that much. But if you really let yourself be vulnerable, let yourself be humble, and realize that there's a lot of stuff you don't know. There's a lot of stuff you don't know. A lot of stuff I don't know. When I talk to you, talk to me as well. Anything I say, I'm also talking to me, because as you're going through this, I'm going through this as well. I'm just facilitating it. Hope you understand that. And there's people in the world that have made great accomplishments in different areas. You might have made some great accomplishments in some area, but someone who is incredibly accomplished, and that is the guy who wrote this book, John Demartini. And so even though I don't understand everything he says, his whole view of everything, I don't fully grasp it all. I'm going with it anyway, because I know as I keep going with it, it will make sense. It will make more and more sense, as it has been doing. It has been making more and more sense. And as we get deeper into it, things will make more sense. So I'll leave you with this: be a good student. Yeah, be a good student. The best teachers are good students. You don't need to be a follower. You need to be a very good student, right? To master anything in life. And to be a good student is to be humble and to be open, and let go of the judgments, let go of the opinions, and allow yourself to soak up and transform. Because transformation is not about holding on. Transformation is about letting go. When you let go, that is when magic will happen in your life. It's the one of the biggest fears for me was getting up on stage and speaking. And I remember going to an event where I was learning to do that. And I got my breakthrough and I let go. I stopped thinking about how I looked, how I was gesturing, what I was saying, and I just let go. And when that happened, I made the connection with my heart. I came out of my head, made the connection to my heart, and then that opened up, and it was just a magical experience, right? So the greatest transformation is, for many people anyway, is the journey from the head to the heart, and the connection between the both, because we need both. Yeah. I'm going to leave you that this evening. I've got another training I'm doing in 20 minutes. Internet marketing training. If you want to join my team, then the link below, you can join my team. We're making big things happen in the world, creating a lot of people that are financially free, creating millionaires. And if you want to be part of my team with that, you can join by clicking on the link below. It's a very simple system, online and offline, that you can do. No technical skills necessary. And if you want to align with me with this, you resonate with it, click the link below, you'll find out more about it when you do that. Okay, thanks for this evening. Thanks for being here with me, and I look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow. And remember to do the exercise, right? Do the exercise. Just do it. Take action, right? Take action and do something to step outside your comfort zone. How cool would that be? Okay, thanks again. This is Matthew Armstrong signing out for tonight. Good night.